Before you call them friend, gotta prove them first. Is there really loyalty when you're at your worst? We need to hit her all like the wire. You're looking for some truth, I'll supply it. If you want it too soft, this ain't them. You gon' choose a law over sin. It's just some uncut gems. It's just some uncut gems.
We was diamonds in the dirt, just grinding in the turf. Our mom would go berserk, trying to keep from riding in the hearse. Now we lines in the work, sons of Zion, we the church. Different color fringes is looking vibrant on my shirt. Until I'm lying in the dirt. I pray to be a fire hydrant with this word, like a geyser on the curb.
First and foremost, I want to give Kal Halal, Abanaw Yahweh, Bahashim, Mashiach, Malak Yahweh Shai. We're the Hebrew Israelites to tell all you so-called blacks and some of y'all Latinos that scatter out about there, and you natives, that y'all God's chosen people. Y'all the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, man. Right?
That's right.
And we come to an event to celebrate what? Black love, black business, black excellence. And all praise, because guess what? Y'all are very chosen and special people, man.
Right.
Y'all don't really act like it a lot of times, right? But it's beautiful to see our people actually come together. What's going on, brother? Healthy marriage is dope. That's right, brother. You all about black love, my brother? All praise. You got a couple minutes to talk to a fellow brother real quick? All right, brother. All right, just know that more than like you Israelite, repent for the kingdom of heaven is at hand, man. But our people need to understand that, you know, that feeling of being special, being unique, feeling like you actually somebody, that's because the Most High chose you to be. What's going on, sis? You doing all right? You got a couple minutes to chop it up with a fellow black man real quick? Not even for a little bit, sister. Come on, it's a whole black event. All right, what's your ethnicity if you don't mind me asking? Yeah. You said sub-Saharan? You said Nigeria? What tribe? Like Igbo, Ashanti? You don't know yet? All right, well, notice this. A lot of our people come from that area, so more than likely you may be an Israelite, right? All right, all praises. Just know that more than likely you an Israelite. Repent for the kingdom of heaven is at hand, all right? All praises to the Most High, man. But yeah, man, give me that. Who got Deuteronomy 76? You got it? All praises.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6.
Right?
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
You so-called blacks and you Hispanics that's among these beautiful people out here, y'all are a holy and separate people unto the Most High God. Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
He did what?
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
He chose you. What's going on, brother? Brother with the black shirt and the green pants and the brown and white dunks. What's going on, brother? You doing all right? You got a couple minutes to chop it up with a fellow black man? You about to head up, so you got time. What's up? You ain't going to another event. You about to leave. You might as well come chop it up with me for a little bit. All praise. What's your ethnicity, if you don't mind me asking? Okay, all praises. Do you believe in a higher power of any sort? You believe in a God? Okay, what God of the Bible, Quran, the Hindu God? Like, which God do you believe in? Just the higher power? You know that there's something there? All praises to the Most High, right? Now, does your God instill your morals that guide your life? Essentially, yeah. All praises to the Most High. All right. We also believe in a higher power as well. It's the Most High God of the Bible, right? And the most important thing, it's out? We did? It just does that. All right. All praises. So, the Most High God of the Bible, right, is a very unique being. And he's actually, give me Joel 2:27, right? Have you ever heard that the God of the Bible is the God of everyone on the earth? You've ever heard that before? Now, that's something that's purported in the church house, right? But watch this. Give me that.
The book of Joel.
Give me Amos 3.
Chapter 2 and verse 27.
Right?
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
So he's in the midst of Israel, read.
And that I am the Lord your God.
Uh-huh.
And none else.
And what?
And none else.
Now, wait a minute. If people will say that the Most High God of the Bible is the God of everybody, but he said that he's the God of Israel and nobody else. That's strange, right? Why is it that people who build these houses and call them churches and have Bibles in there don't ever read that? Have you ever been in a church before? Have you ever heard that verse read before? That's interesting, right? Same thing like this guy right here. They say that this guy is Jesus Christ, right? Now, to your knowledge, without the horns and the tongue, would you say that that's Jesus Christ? You would, right? And that's because of what we've been taught as people, right? Now, what if I told you that Christ's description is in the Bible and it's not this? What would you say? Feel like you heard it? Well, let me not actually just say it. Let's read it out the source material, right? Because any man, I can sit here and be lying to you, right? But if we actually go out the source material, would it not prove it to be true or false? Let's read it.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Start at 1.
The revelation, it's like the revelation of Jesus Christ.
Do you know what the word revelation means, brother? It just means to reveal. So in the book of Revelations, there's a lot of mysteries that are being revealed to John the Revelator. One of them is the appearance of who the world calls Christ, right? Let's go ahead and get to it. 13.
Verse 13.
Right.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks,
right,
one like unto the Son of Man.
It's talking about Christ. So John the Revelator, who's writing this down, he's essentially bowed down and he's looking at Christ from his feet up. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
Right.
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
So imagine you walking around your house with a long robe with a golden girdle. Would you do that? I know I would. No, it's a day off. You ain't got nothing to do. You chilling. The game about to come on. You about to sit down, kick your feet up. You walk around your house comfy. Got this long, luxurious robe on with a gold sash. You wouldn't walk around your house like that. You wouldn't be sauced up and dripped out in the comfort of your own home. Because he's sauced up and dripped out right here. This is a long garment with a golden girdle. You feel me? Go ahead.
Verse 14.
Right.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
This is talking about the texture of his hair. What people on this planet do you know have woolly-like hair? So-called black people, right? Now, does he have woolly-like hair? No, so that's strike one on this guy, right? You have woolly hair, yes? All praises.
His head and his hairs were white like wool. As white as snow.
So woolly in texture, white in color. So Morgan Freeman with a white afro. You see what I'm saying? Keep going.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Red eyes.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
What color is brass? Like almost like a copper penny, right? Read.
As if they burnt in a furnace.
Now wait a minute. If you burn something in a furnace, what color it come out? Dark as hell, damn near black, right? So white woolly hair, dark skin, read.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
A loud, authoritative voice. Now, out of what we just read, who did we just describe on the planet Earth today? A so-called black individual, right? Does this match? So then who is this guy? His name is Cesare Borgia, son of Rodrigo Borgia, who was later named Pope Alexander VI. After he died, his father had this image painted of him, and then a group of people, an entire nation of people and their conglomerates took this image and went all around the world. They came over to the west coast of Africa. They came over here to the Americas where the indigenous were, where you would have so-called natives and so-called Hispanics and Latinos, right? And they brought us this image. You know what they said? They said, bow down or die. What do you think we did? Nah, we fought first. You gonna bow down to another man, or you gonna fight first? We fight first before we do anything. Am I right or wrong? You see what I'm saying? So he looks like us. Now, not only that, let's look at his rap sheet, right? He went all around his people in his country. He was trying to tell his people what's coming, trying to give them correction and be a public figure, right? And then he was put in jail and killed for a crime he did not commit. Who did I just describe? An everyday black man. You see what I'm saying? So he looks like us. He went through the same thing as us. What is it? What does that tell you? What is that? What thought provokes in your mind? He looks like us. He goes through the same thing as us. Will we possibly be related to this man? It's possible, right? But here's the thing. What could I possibly show you to potentially convince you that we are related to this man and the people of this book? Just DNA? Okay. I can dig that, right? Now, are you familiar with the transatlantic slave trade? Where they put us on ships and packed us in like cargo, and then they sold us into slavery, right? These events actually happen here in America, right? Okay. Give me Exodus 20, and I already know you got it. Watch this. I want to show some context. All right? Are you familiar with the story of Moses in Egypt? Moses, he went to Pharaoh and said what? Let my people go, right? What were his people doing in Egypt? He had to go to the king of Egypt and say, let my people go. What could they possibly be doing in Egypt that they can't leave? They were slaves. That's right. Like, for example, say all the black people, we got up, we left America, we found some remote island, we built it up. It's there for ourselves. Nothing in America is there with us. It's just us. And then a bunch of white people from America come to that island where we're at in peace, and they say, all you black people are going back to America. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? What do you think they're going to have us do? We going back to a place where we were slaves at. And we're going to be slaves again, right? Watch this.
It's the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2.
Right.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt,
right,
out of the house of bondage.
So Egypt is likened unto a house of bondage, right? What's another term for bondage? Slavery, right? Now, the word Egypt itself comes from the Hebrew word matazarium. It means pretty much between a rock and a hard place. Slavery is between a rock and a hard place, yes? Now watch this.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So he's talking to the Israelites. He said, I'm going to bring you into Egypt again. Remember how I just gave the analogy? If we left America and they told us we're going back to America, we're going back into slavery, right? So they were slaves in Egypt. So what do you think God's telling them right here? I'm going to bring you back into Egypt, so I'm going to bring you back into what? I'm going to bring you back to slavery. I'm going to bring you back to a place where you were slaves at, right? Watch this.
It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now, wait a minute. The Israelites walked into Egypt and they walked out of Egypt. Right back, yo, Tom, where are you from? Israel? What part? Dimona, Israel. He's actually from there. How long does it take to go from Israel to Dimona? Oh, I'm sorry, Israel to Egypt. Less than an hour by boat? By what? By walking. You don't need a boat to go to Egypt from Israel. You see what I'm saying? So read that again.
Khan. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So he said, I'm going to bring you into slavery again with ships. If they're in Israel, you don't need a boat to go back to Egypt to be a slave. So what people went to a place of slavery or bondage by way of ships that we know of? We did, right? Even though before us, the natives of this land, the indigenous, the Seminole Indians, the native Indians, as well as who we call the Latinos and Hispanics, they actually got put on a boat before us. And they got shipped out of America into the West Indies and went all over the place, and some were lucky enough to come back, right? So all these groups have actually been put on a boat and then subjected to slavery, right? Now, when we got off the boat, what's the first thing that happened? You don't know? So I'm painting a picture in your head. We just docked. We got chains. We walking down. We see a crowd full of white people. What's the next thing that happens? You said what? We got bought out. We got sold, right? Watch this.
Khan. It says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Talking about you're not going to see this bondage in the land of Egypt again. Talking about a new Egypt. Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Now wait a minute. It said when you get there, you're going to be sold to who?
Unto your enemies.
You got a bug on your car. Were we sold to our friends? We were sold to... No, we weren't. Are you sure? We didn't get sold to Jimmy and have a whole block party like this? That didn't happen? So who were we sold to? The white man, right? The way that we were treated, is that a friendly thing, or is that something your enemy would do? You said what? So the things that happened to us during slavery, all the atrocities, normally I would speak it, but I want to be precise and concise here. All the evil things that were done to us during our hardcore bondage here, was that something a friend would do or an enemy? An enemy would do, right? Would a friend benefit from all that evil, or would your enemy benefit from that evil? Have those people and their descendants benefited from the evil that was done to us? So that classifies them as what? Our enemies, all praises. Go ahead.
Con. It says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. For bondmen,
right,
and bondwomen,
right,
and no man shall buy you.
Meaning no man shall redeem you from this situation, right? We went through that, yes? Why is it that our actual historic slavery was written in there? Give me 46. Give me 46. You got that? No, that's what I want. 49. I want God. So now this is actually the DNA test of the Israelites, right? Let me give you one more. Let me ask you this: that bottle that you got in your hand, what was in it? Like juice, water? You said juice? Did you make that juice yourself? Nah. Where you get it from? From down there, right? Okay. From one of the brothers and sisters spot. Okay, cool. Did they make that bottle themselves? Or did they? Yeah, the bottle. They probably had to get a bulk container from another company, right? Did you make your shirt? What about your pants? Okay. Do you get free water at your house? You do? You don't pay a water bill? So your water ain't free, is it? What about when you go to a store and get your food? Like, do you grow your own food? No? You got to go to a store and buy it for somebody else, right? What if it's a black-owned store? Because that's possible. It's very possible. But where do they get the funding to own the store? They got to go to a bank, right? And it could be a black-owned bank, but a bank cannot operate unless it's funded by the FDIC. Do we control that? So everywhere we go when we have to get something for our basic needs, we got to go to somebody else who runs it in order to get it, right? Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee,
right?
In hunger, and in thirst,
right?
And in nakedness,
right?
And in want of all things.
Don't we have to do that? You see what I'm saying? Now, jump to 15. I'm going to get straight to the point. Jump to 15, right?
Verse 15.
Right?
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments,
right,
and his statutes,
right,
which I commanded this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Can we see ourselves? And those are just a few of the curses, right? From verse 15 all the way, actually 16 all the way through 68, are all curses. Matter of fact, get 66. Those are all curses that would befall the Israelites if they did not listen to the Most High God. Did we go through at least the two that we read? Okay. Let me give you one more. 66.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 66.
Right?
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
Brother, does your life hang in doubt every day? Do our lives hang in doubt every day? They do. As a young black man, when you're a child, were you not taught to be on your P's and Q's and keep your head on a swivel? Why? To protect yourself, right? We were taught that from a very young age. Why? Because our lives hang in doubt before us. It could be one of our own, or it could be a police officer. It could be whatever circumstance, but every time we leave the house, we are in danger, yes? Go ahead.
And thou shalt fear day and night, and thou shalt have no assurance of thy life.
Do we have assurance of our lives in this place? We don't. We could leave here now, and then by the time I get to my car, I might have an altercation with a police officer for no reason. And boom, my life is gone. You see what I'm saying? We go through this, yes? Give me Deuteronomy 1:1. Because we go through these things, right? We go through these things oddly enough, right? But this is who it was written to.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
Right?
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
If these are the words that were written to the people of Israel, but we go through those things, what does that make us? That's right, brother. All praises. That's all praises. Because look, when we say that we're black, are you the color of your shirt? Nah. I have an even better question. Before we got put on boats and brought here, what do we call ourselves? What kind of food did we eat? What kind of clothes did we wear? What kind of festivities did we have? We don't know. You see what I'm saying? Everything that had our knowledge of self was beaten out of us. You ever see the movie Roots? What happened to Kunta Kinte? You don't remember the famous scene? What was Kunta Kinte's name changed to? It was changed to Toby. Do you remember how it happened? He got his hand bound and he was raised up so he was held like this. And the slave master took a whip to his back. And he said, "What's your name, boy?" And he kept saying Kunta Kinte, but eventually he broke and said, "What? Toby." We had who we were literally beaten out of us. And then we were force-fed this, a lying ideology. And what made it worse is that this book that they try to attach this with, and a whole bunch of lies that comes from the church, this book belongs to us. This book was literally written by our forefathers so that we can understand what's going on today and can tell what's going to happen in the future. So when people say, "Oh, it's a religious book," okay, you can say that, but there's a family record in this book. There's a family history in this book. So when you read about Isaiah, Ezekiel, Micah, who the world calls Christ, those are all of our forefathers. Those are our big uncles. Those are our grandfathers. You see what I'm saying? So that said, how you like my DNA test? Because you said the DNA test would prove it. Did I prove it?
I mean, you told me what you read, so I can't believe.
All praises. All praise to the Most High. But know that you're not a so-called... Do your parents come from like the West Indies or anything like that? Or you just straight African American? Okay, come check this sign out real quick. This sign right here, brother. The so-called African American man, woman, and child will more than likely come from the tribe of Judah. That's literally the king tribe, man. You see what I'm saying? That's the same tribe that who the world calls Christ comes from, right? So understand, because this isn't just some random thing. Like, okay, I'm an Israelite now. What does that mean? I'm going to show you what it means. Give me that back in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. I'm going to show you what that means. You got to go? I got you. Let me get you one more. Just one more. Drop that. Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Just know this. Knowing that you're an Israelite, it's an actual identity that belongs to you. It means that you're literally the top person on this earth. And when you think that you're special, it's because you are, because the Most High made you special. The Most High God of the universe that built everything, He built all this for you and your people. And when it all comes down and when this place is finally destroyed, you're going to be sitting on top. You're not going to have to worry about your life. You're going to be chilling, relaxing, as we should be. But give me this.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Right.
Fear God and keep His commandments. For this is the whole duty of men.
And that's all we got to do, brother. But check that information out on that flyer. And, hey, man, know you're an Israelite. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right, brother? All praises. Appreciate you, King. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. See, that's all we want to do. At least get one, right? But see, I love it when our actual people stand and listen. I ain't gonna lie, I got lucky though. He was on his way out. I caught him not wanting to go to the event. He said, "I'm done with the event, man."